Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tenses. His voice spills into your skull, the spores connecting mind to mind.
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. Or perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than that of the fungi.
Je n'avais encore jamais vu d'hobgoblin tel que vous.
The feeling is mutual, friend. I have only passing familiarity with the surface races. But I found that there is as much to learn from an individual as there is from a community. So it is with the Myconids. They live in harmonious unity, but each has a unique personality. My colleagues and I are working to improve conditions in the Underdark. This need not be such a dire, hostile place. It's curious to find a surface dweller here. What has brought you down so deep?
Les flagellants mentaux m'ont infecté en m'implantant un parasite dans la tête.
Truly remarkable. But why come to the Underdark, where they hold so much power? You were infected by an illithid tadpole? It's a miracle you're still intact. You must be worried sick, but have no fear. I have a friend who may be able to assist. Omelium!
I hope this is important, Blurg. My Zerkwood samples need constant attention.
It is. This adventurer has an illithid tadpole inside his head, but he hasn't turned.
No ceremorphosis. That's impossible, but intriguing. Are you looking to have it extracted?
Geich, your head will make a fine trophy for my queen.
Please hold. I understand your rage against my kin. One of my brethren forced a tadpole into your eye. Or ear, perhaps? But I assure you, I stand with the Society of Brilliance, not the colonies of my people.
De toute façon, les Myconides n'apprécieraient pas qu'on se batte ici. Je vous écoute.
Fool! They infest your head and invade your dreams, and still you would parley.
I ask only that you refrain from violence. I respect that your opinion of my kind may be charged. If that settles matters for the time being, would you like a diagnosis? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
As the Meloan's mind pierces yours, the tadpole pulses with power. It feels 10 times its size. Alive, awake, almost smug.
This is most unusual. The incubation period should be complete, as should your transformation. But the larva is infused with strange magic. It appears to be in some form of stasis.
Pouvez-vous l'extraire?
No. It appears to be shielded from physical and magical influence. Moreover, the cranium has undergone severe trauma. It is a miracle the brain functions at all. Extraction would risk much.
Pas simple comme situation.
It is not ideal. The process would surely kill you. But not to worry. Should you transform, I will happily perform a new examination.
Finalement, me sonder l'esprit n'aura servi à rien.
My apologies. I hoped the experience was not too unpleasant. But I have an idea.
Oh, perhaps I should start taking notes.
There may be a way to bypass that stasis. There are many alchemical substances that can influence the mind.
Contourner cette stase? De quelle sorte d'alchimie parlez-vous donc?
A tincture distilled from a collection of rare mushrooms. They have subtle psionic influence. I would require a fresh ton of madness and Timusk spores. But be warned, in their natural state, both of these mushrooms can be quite dangerous. Timusks cause confusion in those that approach them. The tongue is self-explanatory.
Formidable. Et où puis-je trouver ces champignons?
The Underdark, of course, although they are quite rare, and their discovery perilous. I imagine Lenore would have them in her possession. She served Mystra as a cleric.
Et où habite donc cette Lénore?
The southwest when I last saw her, although her tower does have a tendency to move.
C'est bon à savoir, mais j'ai d'autres priorités pour le moment.
May your travels be safe and swift. I have never seen anything like it, Blur. Is my species evolving?
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries?
Je n'avais jamais entendu parler de la Société des érudits.
Understandable. We are small in number and rarely stay in one place for long.
Mener des recherches dans les tréfonds obscurs ne doit pas être de tout repos.
Yes, but it has abundant natural resources. Spores, water orbs, trillimac. I've studied them for years.
There is rare magic in the Underdark too. Fairsres. It radiates from the earth, warping, teleportation, and divination magic.
Et qu'est-ce que vos études vous ont permis de découvrir?
This is not a wasteland. It is a glorious ecosystem. Every civilization here could thrive without conflict.
D'ailleurs, vous étiez ici lorsque les Duergar ont attaqué?
I observed the fight from a distance. Combat is not my field of expertise, but the Myconids handled themselves well enough. I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking. Very well. I have mushrooms to catalogue.
It's difficult to... I greet you, child of the sun. How has your search for the mushrooms fared?
Je me demandais, comment avez-vous échappé à votre colonie?
I was born with a propensity for arcane magic my people despise. It gave me the strength to resist the Elder Brain. Every waking hour I pushed back against its dire hold, My wizardry empowered me. The moment its control shattered, I fled. Before the colony discovered I had defected.
Comment faites-vous pour survivre? N'avez-vous pas besoin de manger des cerveaux?
In the beginning, I had an arrangement with a lich. Excellent company, despite what one would expect. I required brains, he required souls. A perfect symbiosis. But our ambitions eventually splintered. I wished to better the world, and he preferred its rot. So I left his company, and thus I now feed from those who act against the Society's goals.
C'est un moyen efficace de satisfaire ce genre d'appétit, j'imagine.
Perhaps the peoples of the Underdark will be less inclined to violence if they comprehend the cost, yes?
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much.
Est-ce que vos recherches vous ont permis de découvrir quoi que ce soit pouvant aider à résoudre mon problème de parasite?
My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
Combien de fois avez-vous déjà fait ça?
I assure you, I've dreamt of it 1,000 times over.
Ce parasite est pour le moins inhabituel. Je sais de sources sûres que son extraction est pour l'heure impossible.
You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you. You only have a matter of days to live. Don't dally, my friend.
Defender of the people. Still alive. So that's progress.
Tonight, you can't chase the thoughts of that poor girl you killed from your head. You wonder what she looked like as she died. Squirming, skewered in abject agony. Your body barely complies. You feel such rushes from your thoughts of the dead woman. Why did she die? The mystery gnaws at your pounding heart.
Me lord, jubilant day! I have found your vile self at last! Sceleritas fell! Your loyal and ever-adoring butler. I followed you, my dear rotted master. We have been parted so tragically long.
Comment ça, vous êtes mon majordome? Qu'est-ce que vous racontez?
Oh, one hell of a butler. The most unprincipled servant you could hope for. You have always struggled to conduct yourself properly without me. I found you following the stench of that bard. She reeked across the coast like a piece of dog muck on the road.
C'est à cause de vous que je l'ai tué?
Such fine work could never be done by a wretch like me. Anyways, I come once again bearing a part of your dreadful inheritance. You earned this iniquitous prize through your great show of exceptional violence the other night. I'm sure Master will be better soon. A fellow of your fine breeding is never down for long. I cannot wait until your next act of shameless barbarity.
Vous allez tout me dire au sujet de ma vie passée.
Though I would love to regale you with your past triumphs, I cannot. I am forbidden to interfere. Our betters will not allow it. Be true to yourself, my lord.
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Je ne voulais pas tuer Plume. Ramenez-la à la vie, s'il vous plaît.
The bard's death is a weight for thine own conscience to bear. She will be left to the peace of eternity, where the urge shall seek her no more.
Yes?
Racontez-moi votre histoire.
Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again.
Je me demandais, comment devient-on un vampire au juste?
It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire.
En théorie?
People think the biggest threat to a vampire is a cleric with a stake. It's not. The biggest threat to a vampire is another vampire. They're scheming, paranoid, power-hungry beasts. So why would any vampire give up control over a spawn to create a competitor? Trust me, it doesn't happen.
Ce chasseur de monstres que nous avons croisé dans les marais, c'est vous qui le cherchez, n'est-ce pas?
So it would seem. Hopefully he bumps into some gnolls while stumbling around at night, and that's the last we hear from him.
Mais pourquoi s'est-il lancé à vos trousses? Qu'avez-vous fait?
I didn't do anything. I was kidnapped, just like you. It seems Cazador wants me back.
Et qui est ce Cazador au juste?
Cazador Zar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven and a monster obsessed with power. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor.
Vous êtes sûr que Cazador est derrière cette histoire?
It was him, I'm sure. Only he would know to send the Gur after me. It was a group of Gur that attacked me that night in Baldur's Gate. I would have died had Cazador not appeared and saved me.
Mais alors, pourquoi en envoyer un à vos trousses maintenant? Pour vous rappeler la nuit où il a fait de vous un vampire?
Perhaps. He probably thought it was funny. But more likely, he's trying to send me a message. He's reminding me of his power. Even in the middle of nowhere, he can reach me. And he wants me back.
Et pourquoi vous capturer? Pourquoi ne pas vous faire tuer tout simplement?
Maybe he wants to make an example of me, to show what happens to runaways. Or maybe he thinks death is too good for me.
On dirait qu'il n'est pas disposé à vous laisser partir comme ça. Dois-je m'inquiéter?
Concerned? Do you know the power a vampire lord possesses? He can change shape, turn into mist, call walls to do his bidding, shrug off blows like they're nothing. He could walk into our camp tonight and kill you with his bare hands. And you'd be lucky if death was the worst thing that happened to you.
Très bien. Que suggérez-vous?
First, we have to... I don't know. Well, if we kill his lackeys, he'll just send more. We just have to be vigilant, keep our wits about us, and kill any monster hunters on sight. We can probably make an exception for Will. Probably.
Fleshwalker, tongue talker, far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
It sighs, though from your hollow words or believing your false dreams, you know not. It reveals its own home in reply, a humid cove filled with decaying myconid corpses.
Dwegar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. This circle does not welcome me. But I have heard the song. You mean to cleanse the Dwegar rot. I mean to join you.
Vous êtes sûr? Cela s'annonce extrêmement dangereux.
I am the danger, and I am the cure. They erased my people. I will erase theirs.
Très bien, vous pouvez vous joindre à moi.
Remain in the Underdark, and I will follow. We cleanse the rot together.